Hello everybody, are you resitting the AQA English language exams this November? Well, the good news is you're in a great position to do better than you did in the summer. Why? Well, now you can focus on just 2 exams instead of revising every subject at the same time, and you've already been through it once, which means you can learn from how you did in the summer to help you do better in November. So the first thing I would recommend is that you ask your school to give you a breakdown of the marks you achieved in each question in the summer exams. Now, if you're resitting at school, I'd imagine you'd already have this information, but if you're resitting at college or somewhere else, I suggest you send a polite email back to your school asking for these details. And this will allow you to see if there were any specific areas you particularly struggled with. However, obviously you'll need to refresh your memory on every question, even the ones you did well on, because by the time you get to the November resits, it'll be around 5 months since you sat the summer exams, and you're not guaranteed to just remember how to do well in all of those questions. Now, armed with that information, it's time to revise the questions, and of course I'd recommend watching my videos or reading my revision guide to do that. So perhaps for the questions you did well on, you might want to watch my 5-minute animated videos to recap, and for those you struggled with, watch the longer, more detailed videos. I'll link both sets of videos in the description. And as you watch the videos, you'll want to take notes, perhaps around these areas. What is this question about? What are the assessment objectives? How long approximately should I spend on the question? How should I approach this question? What are the common mistakes students make? Now, your first set of notes can be really detailed. Write them in a way that makes sense to you. This could be sentences and paragraphs, bullet points, or perhaps the use of image and colour, but make sure you take the notes yourself instead of just copying or downloading something, because it needs to be personal to you. So let's imagine you're working on AQA English Language Paper 1 Question 2. Your first set of notes might look something like this. You can see on the screen these are the notes that you might take for the language analysis question in Paper 1. And it's covering all the main things that you might have picked out from watching a video or reading some notes or a revision guide or whatever approach it is that you're taking. Next, and this bit is crucial, you should attempt a past paper question in timed conditions. Now, AQA have published a number of past exam papers that you can use for practice, and you can access these through following the links in the description. Right now, the English language past papers available on the AQA site are June 2023, November and June 2022, November 2021, November 2020, and the sample set. Now, for each of these, you need to download and print the question paper and the insert before attempting a question, and you'll then want to look at the mark scheme and exam report once the question is complete. So attempt the questions you've been revising in exam conditions, and then it's time to see how you've done. One of the great things with AQA is their mark schemes. In them, you'll see that questions 2, 3, 4 and 5 are broken into 4 different levels, and you want to be placed in the highest level possible for each question. In the mark schemes, for each level of questions 2, 3 and 4, the final column in the mark scheme is indicative content. It's an idea of the standard required for each level. Now, I don't have copyright permission to show AQA documents in this video, so let me give you an example based on the paper in my English language guide, which you can download instantly as an ebook at mrbruff.com or pick up in paperback on Amazon. So the mark scheme looks a little bit like this. You've got the 4 different levels, level 1, 2, 3 and 4. It tells you how many marks they're worth, and then we've got this indicative content, and you can see this is just, as I said, an example based on my sample paper. And what you do is you look at your answer, and then you look at the mark scheme, and starting at level 1 and moving up through the indicative content, you ask yourself which level content is most similar to my own answer. If you think yours fits into, let's say, level 2, you then look at level 3 and you ask yourself, what does this content do that mine doesn't? The indicative content is not a perfect or complete answer. It's not meant to show specific content. It simply provides an idea of what's expected at this level, but you should be able to fit yours roughly into one of the levels. And that's what you do with questions 2, 3 and 4 in both English language papers. But what about questions 1 and 5? Well, with the question 1s, you just get 1 mark for each correct point in paper 1 and each correctly identified true statement in paper 2. And the mark schemes for question 5 in each paper don't give indicative content to compare your answers to, but they do break down the skills in each level. The amazing thing about question 5 is there's always so much helpful feedback in the exam reports for question 5 that you can literally read those, and as you're reading them, look at your answer and think, did I make that mistake? Did I demonstrate that common strength? Each year, the exam board writes a summary of what went well and what went poorly in the exams and publishes these as exam reports. The patterns are often similar each year, so reading the exam report will be incredibly helpful in telling you what to avoid and what to try and do. The advice for each one is based on that year's papers and gives specific examples. Now, after this, you want to take everything you've learned and attempt the same question from another past paper, going through the stages again, the mark scheme, then the exam report. And if you're still stuck, you might then want to go back to, say, my videos, or put a comment in this comment section of this video and I will respond and give you my advice. Once you've gone through every question and are confident, you want to condense your notes down further, and I recommend trying to get everything for each exam paper onto one side of paper, and it might look something like this for AQA English Language Paper 2, but again, these notes need to be personal to you. It's no good thinking, I'll just copy those notes. These are the things that I think I would need to remember, things I might forget, things that address areas that I might be prone to making a mistake on. So the final question is, what about the 2024 exam report? That's the exam you completed in the summer. Is there anything in there that's going to help me pass in November? The answer is yes, and that's going to be the focus of the next video. So do subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and good luck in your revision.